Good afternoon and welcome to Global News on Memories 96.5 FM. Uyo, the top stories. President Tinubu travels to France for official visit. Enquiry State NLC seeks new minimum wage implementation. Federal government orders universities to submit matriculation list. On the foreign scene, United States and South Korea kick off major joint military drills. In sport, Real Madrid failed to beat Mallorca as Mbappe makes debut. We have details of this and other stories coming up in a moment. I am SHARON, MANDOR. News in detail. President Bola Tinubu is set to travel to France today, the 19th of August, departing from Abuja, the nation's capital. This was made known in a statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Adrian Galali, yesterday. The statement, however, did not state the reason for the visit. He said the president would return to the country after his brief work stay in the European nation. This is coming 2 days after Tinubu returned to Abuja from the Equatorial Guinea. In another development, President Bola Tinubu has issued a directive to reduce the size of Nigeria's official delegation to the forthcoming United Nations General Assembly (UNGA) meetings in New York, United States. This directive was disclosed by the Chief of Staff to the President, Honorable Femi Gbadabiamila, yesterday in Abuja during a one-day retreat organized by the State House Management for heads of government agencies under its supervision. Addressing participants at the retreat, the Chief of Staff said the decision to streamline Nigeria's delegation to the 79th session of UNGA in September is part of administration's commitment to ensure prudent management of resources and reduce the cost of governance, highlighting the need for the State House and agencies under its supervision to ensure that its functions are guided by statutes, regulations, policy decisions and presidential directives. Gbadabiamila hinted at upcoming policy announcements aimed at ensuring efficient service delivery in government operations. The Chief of Staff urged heads of agencies at the retreat to comply strictly, adding that the President is listening to the consent of Nigerians and is committed to addressing them diligently. The chairman of Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) Enquiry State Chapter, Comrade Sonny James, has said the government is yet to open discussions with the State Council of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) over implementation of the new minimum wage. This was revealed during separate interviews with the chairperson NLC Enquiry State, Sonny James, and the state head of civil service, Elder Effiong over the weekend in Uyo. Reacting to complaints by some state governors that they would not be able to pay 70,000 naira as new minimum wage, James expressed the optimism that organized labor and the state government would eventually settle for the signed national minimum wage law for Enquiry workers. Similarly, the head of civil service, Elder Effiong, assured that discussions would commence as soon as the circular on consequential adjustment was released by the federal government. The federal government has mandated all higher institutions in the country to regularly submit their matriculation list to the Federal Ministry of Education not later than 3 months after matriculation ceremonies. According to the government, the list must be submitted through the dedicated channel of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board. The initiative is one of the recommendations made by a committee set up by the federal government to combat fake degree mills or racketeers in the country. It would be recalled that in March, the federal government had set up an interministerial investigative committee on degree certificate milling to probe the activities of certificate racketeers following an investigative report published by Daily Nigerian which exposed the activities of fake degree mills in the Benin Republic. The House of Representatives Committee on Banking and Other Ancillary Institutions has called for the establishment of a judicial task force to expedite the trial of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria AMCON loan defaulters. The panel made the call after the Managing Director CEO of AMCON, Benga Alade, said out of the 12,743 loans acquired, only 350 debtors accounted for over 80% of the total purchased accounts, with 246 of them currently embroiled in legal battles with the corporation. In its response, the committee said the task force would ensure that the 350 debtors obliged fulfill their financial obligations and contribute to the country's economic recovery. The chairman of the committee, Eze Nwachukwu, who stated this on Sunday during an interview at the ongoing 2024 retreat of the Commission with AMCON in Enugu, expressed disappointment with 350 Nigerian obligors were withholding collective resources and constraining the nation's economy. You're listening to Global News on Memories 96.5 FM. We bring you more reports after the break. Stay with us.
Approximately 1.3 million people die and 50 million sustain injuries every year from road traffic accidents. So, before you cross, look left, look right, and then look left again. Double check.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned to Global News on Memories 96.5 FM. And now to the rest of the news. On the foreign scene, the Economic Community of West African States Parliament is stepping up diplomatic efforts to prevent Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso from leaving the regional bloc. The Deputy Speaker of the Nigerian House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, confirmed that parliamentary diplomatic mechanisms were being deployed to engage the three nations, emphasizing the importance of unity within ECOWAS. He spoke in an interview over the weekend in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, on the sidelines of a meeting of the Parliament's Joint Committee on Administration, Finance, Budget, Public Account, Macroeconomic Policy and Economic Research, of which he is chairman. Kalu, who said letters had been sent to the governments of the concerned nations and visits by parliamentary representatives would soon follow, also expressed confidence that dialogue would lead to their reintegration into the regional body. He also noted that even in a worst-case scenario where the two countries proceed with their exit, ECOWAS's financial stability will not be at risk, while highlighting the organization's multiple revenue streams, including the community levy and contributions from development agencies. Still on the foreign scene, the United States and South Korea have kicked off their major annual joint military drills today, with new exercises aimed at containing the nuclear-armed North, including fighting cyber attacks. The Old Chief Freedom Shield exercise runs until the 29th of August, with drills this year set to reflect realistic threats across all domains, including from North Korean missiles and GPS jamming, according to Seoul's Joint Chiefs of Staff. The exercises will boost the Allies' capability and posture to deter and defend against weapons of mass destruction. This year's drills will involve about 19,000 South Korean troops participating by land, sea, and air, as well as in the cyber and space domains, according to the Defense Ministry, which declined to offer details of the US's participation. In sport, Real Madrid yesterday were held to a 1-1 draw at Mallorca in their first La Liga game of the season. There was excitement ahead of the game, with Kylian Mbappe making his debut in the league for Los Blancos. Mbappe started in attack alongside Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo as the champions sought to begin their defense with a win, while Rodrigo opened the scoring in the 13th minute of the match, but the hosts leveled through Vedat Muriqi 8 minutes after the break. There were no more goals, with Real finishing the game with 10 men as Ferland Mendy saw red in the 97th minute. Carlo Ancelotti's men will host Valladolid in their next La Liga clash on Sunday. And that's global news on Memories 96.5 FM. But before we go, let's take a recap of the top stories. We told you that President Bola Tinubu is set to travel to France today, the 19th of August, departing from Abuja, the nation's capital. The chairman of Nigeria Labour Congress NLC Akwa State Chapter, Comrade Sonny James, has said the government is set to open discussions with the State Council of the Nigeria Labour Congress over implementation of the new minimum wage. The federal government has mandated all higher institutions in the country to regularly submit their matriculation list to the Federal Ministry of Education not later than 3 months after matriculation ceremonies. On the foreign scene, the United States and South Korea have kicked off their major annual joint military drills today, with new exercises aimed at containing the nuclear-armed North, including fighting cyber attacks. And in sports, Real Madrid yesterday were held to a 1-1 draw at Mallorca in their first La Liga game of the season. The news this afternoon was edited by Mfonabong Ekot and assisted by the production team. For views regarding our news or coverage of your newsworthy events, you can reach us on email via newsroom@memoriesmediang.com or call our newsroom hotline on 0909 000 0581. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Memories965. And now let's take you down memory lane. On this day in 1960, Senegal seceded from the Mali Federation, declaring its full independence.